What is up, cheeseheads? Welcome back to another episode of BAM GPG. So, Bryson,
Mhm.
we have a special guest today.
Yeah. And I'm Bryson, and today we've got a very special guest.
So that's right. So today's episode is not going to be your normal breakdown, not your normal rant that we typically do. Today, we're joined by the man, the myth, the legend, the Green Bay Grinch.
And if you somehow do not know who the Green Bay Grinch is, this is a Packers superfan who literally attended every single game this season.
Yeah, that's right. Home games, away games, the cold games, the road trips, wins, losses, the heartbreaks, the chaos. He was there for all of it this year.
So if we figured if anyone has earned the right to talk Packers this season, it's him.
Yeah, absolutely. So, first of all, Green Bay Grinch, thank you for coming on the show today. We're seriously appreciate you for taking the time to join us on our show today.
Oh, much appreciated.
Yeah, and before we get into the season itself here, Grinch, I wanted to start here because this is insane for most fans, right? You went to every single Green Bay Packer game this year, so just take us back to the beginning of the year. When did you decide to do this, and when did you say, "Yeah, I'm going to do all of them this year"? And did you actually believe you could pull it off?
To be honest, I had doubt in myself, but how it all started, it's just like I started thinking to myself a couple years ago. I was just like, okay, I want to go to these games. I made myself a couple goals where I'm like, I'll go to every home game for 1 year. Accomplish that pretty easy. Then I told myself I want to maybe go to an away game and then go to every home game. And I'm like, okay, I accomplished that. And then from there, I'm just like thinking to myself, last year, I'm like, why don't I try to go to pretty much all of them besides the rival games. So I was thinking to myself, I'm like, let's sit front row once, go to all the games last year, besides basically the rivals, and then Brazil. Yeah, I think that was last year.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I didn't go to that one. I accomplished that. Then I was thinking to myself, I'm like, this year, while I was doing my goals, figuring out what I want to accomplish and all that, I'm like, maybe I want to go to them all. But at the same time, it's just like I really don't wanna go to them all because 'cause I've already went to Pittsburgh, already went to Denver, already went to New York. I have to have a reason to go. So, basically what happens, my buddy calls me up from New York asking me, "Hey, come to the big game with me." I'm like, "Fine." Book that flight, and then what happened for Pittsburgh, it was Aaron Rodgers' last game against the Packers. I'm like, "There's no brainer why I shouldn't book my flight there," so book
oh, you
that
have
one.
to. Yes.
It was just one of those no-brainers. And then for Denver, it was just like I was thinking to myself, might as well I'll go with my friend, with Justin and all that. So book that. And then for the three away ones that I didn't go to were the Cleveland, Dallas. I'm just trying to think in order.
Yeah.
Dallas. There were a couple other ones where I'm just like I have to hit it because I haven't seen that stadium. And like
Yeah.
throughout the year, it all started in January where I'm like, I'm just gonna go to the mall, see what I can do, and let's have fun. And
Yeah.
from there,
Absolutely. It's the blast.
it just basically fell in my lap, I guess you wanna say, every move and all that. I was kinda freaking out a little bit, but at the same time, I'm just like, just t trust it, see where it takes you.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's gotta be all Packers fans' dreams to be able to attend every single game during the season, especially
Yeah.
when the team's competitive like they are. It just makes them so much more fun going into every game knowing that there's a chance that you could win as well. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
even what was crazy too, even if the Packers did win against the Bears, I was thinking about doing a turn and burn, basically you leave Sunday morning to get to Seattle, and then leave Sunday night to get back home.
That would have been amazing. That would have been a
Like, I was going to
quite the
do that,
trip.
but 'cause I had inventory that week and my work kinda worked with me a little bit to be flexible, to have my Sunday, Monday off,
Yep.
but I was hoping to have that Saturday off so I can just leave that Saturday and have a 3-day trip, but didn't work in my favor. Packers lost too, and it was just like, "Okay." might as well end it.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. We were at that playoff game in Chicago there too, and we were sitting good for the first half, right? I thought for
I
sure,
don't know, it's just
we're
like
booking
I've
that ticket
noticed,
to
like,
Seattle.
this whole season, like, we carry the lead, but we can't somehow, hold it, and it's just
It is. Yeah,
it's
it's
so
and
frustrating just watching it, being like, we have good people, we're starting off strong, and it's just like, when second half comes, "Oh, we're just gonna blow it," and it's just
yeah,
like,
and that's been kind of the MO for LaFleur's team this year. They come out,
mhm,
they have that first half of the game scripted and it goes well, but when the other team makes an adjustment, it just seems like Green Bay fails to adjust to it, right? So
mhm,
I absolutely 100% agree. That's been frustrating part of the season.
and it's
Yeah,
frustrating seeing Mike got hurt too, and it's just like, since he got hurt, it just felt like the whole defense just gave up.
It did. Yeah, I mean, he's what drove that defense all year.
For real, and I was so
yeah,
excited seeing the chemistry, the momentum, it was all there, and then once Tucker got hurt, once Micah got hurt, I'm just like, "It's gonna be a rough season."
Yeah. Yep.
yeah. And was there any games early in the season where you thought this is gonna be harder than I expected?
Um, not really. Not
It
really
was
until basically, I guess,
Yeah,
towards the
I
end.
guess once you made the commitment, you just kept with it then. So, I guess on the flip side of that here, Grinch, what was the moment like where you hit kind of that moment and you were like, "Wow, I'm really going to do this." I'm kind of living every Green Bay Packers fan their dream this season.
It basically I guess it sank in when I bought my last front row ticket, being like, "Okay, now that I bought it, let's see if I can actually achieve it by actually
Yeah.
attending." And then when I went to the Vikings game, the last game of the year, it was kinda, a snooze fest, but how I looked at it being like, "I did it." Like, something just at that game just felt like something amazing.
Yeah, you hit that milestone, you accomplish it, and yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. Certainly any Packers fan's dream for sure. Now, I know people they see the costume, they see the videos, they see the fun, but what they probably don't see is, the travel, the planning for it, the costs, the exhaustion from all the traveling, planning, all that stuff. So, what's something, about going to every single game that fans probably don't think about, but absolutely should if this is something they wanna do.
Mm, just probably plan accordingly. Basically, when you travel and all this stuff. For me personally, what I do, since I'm usually off Sunday, Monday, I always book my flights on a Saturday through Tuesday. They tend to be a little bit cheaper instead of Friday through Monday. So I do it that route, and then basically from there, I book my flights, hotels right away, and then when it
Yep.
comes to, like, the game day ticket, I just wait. Wait until, like, the week of or, like, even the day of to buy my ticket.
Yeah, that's what I've always found best too, especially when we're, uh, attending a game on the road because we were in that Pittsburgh game or went to that Pittsburgh game earlier this year too for that same reason, we wanted to see Aaron Rodgers one last time, especially against the Packers, right? But that's kind of what we do, especially for those games. We'll kind of wait till
Mm,
the week of or the days leading up to, because that's when you really start to see the prices start to dip. People panic
yeah,
sell. They want to get rid of the tickets, etc. So,
mhm.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
That's what I usually recommend people to do if they don't care where to sit on it, just wait until you before you leave and all that, buy your ticket. You
Yeah,
don't have to get it
patience.
right away. Just
Yeah,
just get just worry about your airfare and basically your hotel. Worry about that
yep,
first. The tickets are always gonna be there.
absolutely.
yeah. Alright, let's get into the good stuff.
Oh, the good stuff. Oh
Out of
boy.
Yes.
out of all the games this season, what was your best moment as a fan? Not just the best win, but the best moment that gave you chills.
Ugh. We're going with Cleveland
With
because
Cleveland.
long story short, yeah, I had a fun time there. Yeah, we lost and all that, I s basically got a picture with Emmanuel Wilson and all that, but long story short, it was before the whole game and all that. 'Cause long story short, I went out to eat with, Matthew Golden's mom and grandma,
That's so cool.
and basically from there, like, my friend and I were hanging out, and basically her, me, his grandma, and his mom just all connected, and
That's so cool.
to this day, like, if I really want, I could easily just call him up, talk to him,
That's
but
awesome.
I just
Yeah,
need their privacy and all that, so it's one of
that's so
those
cool.
things, it's one of those moments where it's just like it it's a great moment to have, like, just to honor them as a friend and all that. They're the
It is.
sweetest, caring, loving people.
Yeah, you're kinda welcoming them into that Green Bay family almost, so
Yeah,
we
so
were actually after that Pittsburgh game, waiting outside for our Uber, that Pittsburgh game there, and Micah Parsons' mom actually came up, to Bryson here and, gave him a high five and kinda dapped him up a little bit there, so that was a pretty cool moment for us there too.
oh, that's
But
awesome.
yeah. So, kinda opposite of that question here, what was the most frustrating moment this season where you just kinda stood there and thought, "Is this really happening again?"
Well, if let's just say the Bears, against the Bears, like, every time we, like, basically, we every time we're up against them being like, "Yeah, we're gonna beat them," somehow they manage to win against us.
They
It's just
do.
like, "Yeah,
It's
we
so
won
frustrating.
against it." We won against them at home, yeah, cool, but when I was at those 2 games at Soldier Field, just seeing it, being like, "Seriously? Not again."
Yes, and we were up with halftime. It was what 21-3 at halftime there,
Yeah,
but and I was telling Bryson at halftime, I was like, if we come, because we were getting the ball after half, and I said, if we come out and we go three and out, we're in for a long half because you just felt like we had to score coming out of halftime there, and just yeah, I think it was 3 or 4 drives in a row where we just stalled out. It was quick three and outs to the
Yeah.
Packers, and it was a rough half, and that was probably my kinda is, "Oh, no, is this happening again?" moment is probably
mhm,
that last game there in Chicago.
yep,
So, yeah, and, we've seen this team live, every single week, not you have anyway, you've seen them live every single week. Bryce and I, we've been to quite a few games this year, but, you've been there, right? Not from the
mhm.
couch, not from the highlights. So, when you look at the season as a whole, what do you think this team really is right now?
They're an it's sad to say, they're an okay team at the moment until we start, getting new coaches, figuring out different people where they need to be and all that. And I can see us being a great team again, like with Michael Myers and Josh Jacobs and all these other people. But right now, since we're hurt and all that, it's I'm kind of iffy on it right now until the season starts being like, okay, once I start hearing the news about who we signed and all that, then I'll start getting hyped about it. But right now, since they're hurt, it's just like can't base anything
Yeah.
off it.
Yeah, it was tough. Yeah, because I felt like this year for the Packers, you never got to see them completely put a game together from start to finish because of the injuries, right?
Exactly.
Missing so many key pieces on that offensive line throughout the season, the defensive line, and you know, to be honest, too, with that cornerback room, I never felt like we had a true set of cornerbacks. I think having that pass rush from Micah Parsons for the majority of the season kind of made up for that lack of good cornerback play. But yeah, 100% right on the uncertainty right now of the team because we just lost Jeff Halfley. So we're going to have to find a new defensive identity. Who's that going to be? I know Green Bay's been bringing in some coordinators for interviews, one of them being Al Harris, which would be an
Yeah,
interesting one, former
that's what I
Packer.
heard.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
And
But
did the team pass the eye test in person, or did it feel different live than what fans saw on TV?
what was the question again?
he's asking like when you're in person, and Green Bay was playing well this season, you know, were they just playing well? Did they pass the eye test when you're in person, or was it just maybe something different than what fans were seeing on TV? Is there something you maybe see differently being at the stadium as opposed to watching it from home?
Not necessarily, like, some plays because I sit in the end zone. Like, let's say some plays, like, if they do plays at the other side of the end zone, I barely see it because I have to look at the jumbotron or something compared to, like,
Yep,
you guys, when you look at it, you can see basically the whole screen, you can see basically wide receivers open compared to me, I'm just basically looking at them, like, on a
straight
slant.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kinda hard for me to justify who's open and all that. Then I have to, like, look at the jumbotron to see compared to, like, you guys on T watching it on TV being like, "Dude, Dobbs is open, Dobbs is open." Meanwhile, I'm looking at it being like, who I don't like, so it's just one
Yeah.
of those things where you
It
gotta
it is.
basically, like, you gotta adjust with the, I guess, the crowd whenever the so
Yep, and and for me personally, like, when I'm at a game, there's things that I can watch, kinda develop throughout the game that you can't necessarily see on TV because on TV, they're tracking the ball, right? So, like, when I'm at a game, like, there's certain players I'll watch, see how they're doing. So, for an example, a couple of them on defensive side, Micah Parsons, he's just got a motor to him. Like, you don't get to see him every play because maybe he's not making that big splash sack every play, but he just never gives up on a play. There's never a play where he just stops and, you see him kind of
mhm,
jogging across the field. And another player like that for me is Lucas Van Ness, right? A lot of people, he doesn't get enough credit for what he does. He's very, very good at setting the edge. He's actually a
mhm,
very, very good run defender. Um, I mean, he can just track the ball. So those are some of the eye tests that you can see in person that you can't necessarily see on TV, right? Because they're not involved with every single play, but indirectly they're involved, if that makes sense.
yeah.
So, coaching wise for the Packers, right? Being honest here, do you feel this team, do you feel like they were ever outmatched talent wise, or was it more kind of a coaching execution and adjustment
I I
for this
I
season?
honestly I honestly think it's the coaching because we have the talent. Don't get me wrong, it's just like I think it's the bad playing call and basically our special teams not doing well, and it's just like I said, it's the coaching.
Yeah.
More just basically bad playing call. "Oh, it's like 3rd and 4, let's hand it off."
Yep.
It's just like stuff like that, it's just like
It
just
is.
stuff
Yeah.
not
It's
making
a
sense.
it's a failed adjustments. Going back to what we talked about earlier here, they come out with a great game plan, right? It's scripted that first half. They've been practicing it all week. The other team gets a look at it. They make adjustments, and Green Bay just fails to make adjustments. And then we talk about predictability with the offense. Well, it's predictable when you're not
It
making adjustments, so
it
it's
is, it's just like you can just predict it, being like, "Oh, here they are gonna run it again," and it's just like and when they throw it, it's just like we're all surprised being like, "Oh, cool. You should do that
yeah,
more often." Like, I'm not trying to talk bad about the Packers or anything, it's just one of those things where, like we said, poor play calling.
yep.
You've been in every stadium and every crowd this season that the Packers have played in. Which road stadium surprised you the most in a good or bad way?
Ooh.
I know for me last year it was the Philadelphia game. You hear about them going ahead or ahead of time, but when you actually
Mhm,
get there and experience it, it's a little bit different. The road game we hit, one of the road games we hit this year was Pittsburgh. I didn't know I have a whole lot of expectations going into Pittsburgh, but it was a
mhm.
good football town.
That
It
that
wasn't
truly is.
it wasn't quite Lambeau Field, but they center around that stadium. They have things to do outside of the stadium.
Mhm.
Um, I thought they had a good setup there in Pittsburgh. I was
Yep,
surprised with them.
I agree too, it's just like when I was in Pittsburgh earlier this year, I was tailgating with my buddies, Dan and, mascot Troy. Because at first I didn't know what to do because when I go to these games, I just do whatever, I just walk around and explore. So what
Yeah,
happens, my buddy calls me and basically tells me, "Oh, he's with, mascot Troy," and they basically pick me up in a golf cart, just take me all around these tailgates, like, "Oh, this is cool." Taking me to other tailgates, good food, good people, and all that. I'm like, "These people know how to have a good time."
They do. Yeah, Pittsburgh's a great football town. So I know for me, for the road games I've been to, they've been probably the most enjoyable fan base to interact with outside of the stadium, in the stadium. Um, it was fun, good banter, things to do outside of the stadium there, like I said, and it's a nice town too. We got around Pittsburgh a little bit as well. So
Yeah, I really enjoy it too because even, the Pirate Stadium is, like, right there too, and it's like, that's cool.
yeah.
Where it's
So
just like, if you get
all the
bored, go on.
yeah, I was going to ask you all the stadiums you've been to this year, especially out on the road there. You know, where do you feel that Packer fans were best represented on the road this year? I know Green Bay, they travel well, they always do, and it seems like every stadium you go to, you hear, "Go Pack, go"
Mhm.
chants, especially, from your couch at home, you can hear them.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think, like, I know when we were when I was in Cleveland, there was a bunch of Packer fans. P
Yep.
Pittsburgh, a little bit-ish, if I remember. I'm just trying to think of where else. Mm, Arizona. When I was in Arizona, there was a lot of
Yes.
Packer fans.
I could we weren't at that one, but we could hear it on TV.
Because
Absolutely.
people are like, "Oh, yeah, welcome to basically what we call snowbirds and all that." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, we'll be snowbirds for the day. That's for sure. So,
So,
kind of bringing it all home here, real quick. So, after seeing the team up close all season, like you have, what gives you the most hope for the Green Bay Packers moving forward?
it's just the motivation and basically chemistry and basically them just being hungry and
I
wanting to
agree.
win.
I think they're gonna come out hungry next season for sure.
Mm.
Especially if they get healthy. Tucker, as you mentioned, Tucker Kraft, Micah Parsons, get some continuity on that offensive line where everyone's not banged up all year. Devontae Wyatt will be back. I think they're going to come out hungry next year. They're still a very,
I
very
agree.
young team. I think they're going to add this offseason as well. And the defense, it'll be interesting to see, what kind of identity they take on depending on who they hire this offseason. So we'll have to keep an eye on that this offseason. But I agree. It's going to be fun. Can't wait to get to some more games. I'm already missing going to some games here next season. So we'll have to link up at one of the games there next season. I think you were doing something special next season. Is that correct?
Yeah, I was thinking about handing out T-shirts just for free, just for the fun of it, being like, "Oh, here you go," because I was just messaging one of my buddies about T-shirts and all that. He just gave me quote prices and all that, and I'm like, "Okay." And eventually, I'm going to pull the trigger on buying them, but not yet because I gotta get out of debt because of all these games and stuff. But later
Yep.
down, probably later this year, I'll probably be buying them and handing them out just for the fun of
Yeah.
it.
That'd be great. And if you set anything up for that, anybody wants to help out with it, share it out. Feel free to share it out. We'd love to help out with it too.
Mhm.
It's always fun giving back, all right?
For
Especially to
real.
the Packer community. So,
Yeah.
but that is
That's a lot of
all.
fun.
That's all we have for today. Again, appreciate you coming on with us today. And
Yeah.
like I
Anytime.
said,
Yeah.
look forward to a fun season next year as well.
For
Mhm.
real.
Yep. And Bryson,
Maybe
as
Super Bowl
always,
this
Let's
time
go.
yes, Super Bowl. Yes, for sure.
'cause
Next
I
year.
need I would like to see one again.
Yeah, me too. It's been too long. It's been too
For
long for
real.
Titletown.
For real.
So, all right, Bryson, as always,
Let's go, Pat, go.
Go back up.